Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun with Benzion. Today's daf is Nedarim daf Zion number 7. The Gemara on the bottom of Zion and says, Amar Abaye, the three lines from the bottom. What Rabbi Akiva Linya Malkos Sheina Loka? Rabbi Akiva says in the Mishnah, if you say Menuda Anilach, which sounds like you're putting yourself in excommunication from someone. Excommunication is not the same thing as a neder, where you're you're forbidding to get benefit from the person financially or physically. Rakiya admits that in Malko Shein Alok, even though Rakiya says he was unsure, and therefore he was machmir. If someone says Muda, he was unsure if he was actually took a neder. Nonetheless, according to Rakiva, if he violated the Muda, he got benefit from the person. He said he's not going to get benefit from. So therefore, he still wouldn't get malchus. What's the proof? Didn't came this in Rakiva machmir. He should have said machmir. If Rakiva says the word machmir, so then, right, you get Malchus. Chochik was al sounds like he was unsure whether to be Machmir. So sounds like I would say, meaning it's the Rabbanon. Meaning, if it said Machmir means that there's a suffix. Obviously, Rekiva is Machmir. If he just said he was not Machmir, that he holds 100% that Menuda, like the Gemara says, it's not clear that the word Menuda Anilach means Neder, not excommunication. Machmir would be, he has a suffix, so if he has a suffix, so it sounds suffix d'oraisa l'chumra, we would give someone malchus. It's only because it's chokik b'zel hachmir really is not a suffix at all. It's a very small chance that he really actually accepted a neder upon himself. Therefore, you don't get malchus, and maybe the neder only applies to Rabbanan according to Rabbi Akiva. But if it was a suffix d'oraisa l'chumra, so then you get malchus. Now, this is a big statement. To say suffix d'oraisa l'chumra, you get malchus. We know. When it comes to suffix nefashos, when it comes to killing someone, the Gemara says suffix nefashos lahakel, right? If it comes to killing, shafto eda v'atzilo eda, the Gemara says in various places, Pesachas Suvo, Pesachas Sanhedrin, Rashi there, it says shafto eda v'atzilo eda. When it comes to a suffix in killing someone, you go lakula, to the point even if 90%, 10% chance he's not guilty, you go lakula over there. But the basic premise is 50-50 suffix. You go lakula. Why doesn't it stay by Malchus? Malchus, the Gemara says in Sanhedrin, is like the Tchilas Misa, it's like dying, it could be worse, the Gemara says in Ksubos, that if, Hanana, Mishal, Azariah, they got Malchus, instead of being thrown into the Kivshana Aish, they would have bowed down to Avodah Zarah, the Gemara says, because torture is worse than actual death itself. So, how could it be that Savik Daraisa, we go, the Chomra, we give a Malchus over here? So it's clear from the Gemara in Kedushin. The Gemara says, Lokin ala chazakos. Notice in Malchus ala chazaka. The Gemara says end of Kedushin. Meaning you need a chazaka. You don't need a proof, a raya. You don't need 80% proof. You need a chazaka, an assumption, 75% proof. It's clear from that Gemara that a suffix, a shakel, 50-50, you wouldn't give Malchus over here. So there has to be some sort of chazaka going on over here. So that's what I like to say over here, because the Gemara is a machlokes in Rav Papa and Rav Chisda. Rav Papa says the machlokes is everyone agrees if you say mishamtanala, which is Aramaic for nidui, for excommunication. Everyone agrees that's not a lashon of neder. Rav Chisda says no, mishamtana anilach, right? That's the machlokes Rabbi Akiva. So according to Rav Chisda, who we paskin like, Rav Chisda says the machlokes in Rabban and Rabbi Akiva is mishamtanala, which is a language which seems to imply Nidoy. And nonetheless, Rekiva, in that case, so in that case, he was Machmir over there. And now, according to Rav Chisda, Menuda Anilah, so that sounds, once you assume the less clear language, Mishamtanalach, Rabbi Akiva's Machmir over there, so there's a chazaka, there's an assumption that we're being Machmir over there, the assumption that it's not a Nidoy, it's a Neder. So if I say a better Lashon, a more clear Lashon, maybe a more sounds more like a neder. Menuda anilach, according to Rav Chisda, we pass. And so you have a chazaka from Mishat Anilach that he's already on the path of neder, not nidor. So therefore, Rabbi Akiva, if he would have said in the Mishnah machmir, right, he doesn't say that. He says Menuda anilach, that's the chiddush. That even though we have a chazaka from Mishamtana anilach, nonetheless, he still says he still doesn't consider it enough of a suffix, a regular suffix. Now, when I say there's a suffix, it doesn't mean, if I'm unsure about something, it doesn't mean 50-50. We don't automatically say that. A suffix, I don't know, right? It could be maybe my mind 70-30. It doesn't make a difference. But if I have a chazaka and then I have a suffix, so then I can give malchus on that. The fact that he's even in menuda nilach, even according to Rav Chisda, he says chochik b'zel hachmir, like Abaye says. So therefore, it's only the rabbanon. But if he would have said the word machmir, which would imply a suffix, because I have the chazaka misham tana nilach already, he would be chochik b'zel hachmir. That would, so then I would say menuda nilach. I would say maybe you get malchus over there. And therefore, it would be a chazaka, because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, when it comes to killing someone, so therefore you need more than a proof, you need maybe more than a rov, ruba de isakamon. When it comes to giving malchus, we treat that as regular isser v'heter, right? In order to eid echad nema v'isurin, eid echad is mechayev v'shuya, as I mentioned many times. For isser v'heter, a chazaka is maspik. Like Gemara says, lokin al chazakas, malkin al chazakas. If you have a chazaka, an assumption, you give a chazaka, you give malchus over here. 75% proof is enough to give malchus over here. That's what you'd have where the chazaka from Misham Tina, you'd have the chazaka, and that's why you give malchus over here. The Gemara briefly discusses this in the beginning in various places, but also in the beginning of Sech Shavuos, where Kod Malchus in Yochanan and Shlakish, the Gemara says a person takes a shvua that I'm going to eat a kikar, I'm going to eat a loaf of bread today. I'm going to eat a loaf of bread today. And then the day passes, he didn't eat the loaf of bread. Do you get malchus or not? So normally, if you take a shvua, if you take the opposite shvua, I'm not going to eat kikar, and then I eat the kikar during that day, so then you would get malchus over there, because there's two reasons in the case where you take a shvua that I'm going to eat something, you don't eat it. The reason you don't get malchus, Rabbi Yochanan says the reason you don't get malchus is because lav shein mo ma'isa, right? Not eating a loaf of bread is a lav shein bo ma'isa. Lav shein bo ma'isa, you don't get malchus. Rish Lakish is a different svara. He says hasra safik lo shmei hasra. You never really can warn the person, because even until the last minute, it's possible to eat the loaf of bread. So therefore, you can never give a hasra. Even when I warn the guy, I say, right, he says shua, I'm going to eat it. I say you better eat the bread, right? If you don't eat the bread, you're going to get malchus for sure. It's a hasra safik. It's never a complete hasra. So he considers that not to be a good hasra. In order to get malchus, you have to be warned first. So it comes out from Rish Lakish. The reason is, Rish Lakish says, Hasra Stavik Lo Shmei Hasra. Right? If it was, right, it's not because, if Hasra Stavik is a suffix, right? Right? Just say that. Hasra Stavik is a suffix, whether it's a suffix, whether it's a Hasra or not. It comes out, because Rish Lakish says Hasra Stavik is not even called a Hasra at all. If it was a suffix Hasra, you'd be liable for malchus according to Rish Lakish. You'll be liable for malchus, because I explained over here, once I take the shvua and I say shvua that I'm eat a loaf of bread, that shvua, that language already establishes a chazaka that I have to eat a loaf of bread. So therefore, if there's a suffix after that, I go back on the chazaka. The chazaka is he took a shvua. He's obligated now with the shvua. As a chazaka, he has to fulfill a shvua. So therefore, the suffix, it's just you get malchus for a chazaka. It's only because the hasra is not considered hasra. And Rabbi Yochanan doesn't say, right? Rabbi Yochanan, he holds hasra suffix is a good hasra. Right, but maybe according to Rabbi Yochanan, Hasra Safik is only a good Hasra, but Torah is Safik, right? So therefore, you will get malchus. The reason you don't get malchus in Rabbi Yochanan is because lav shein bo ma'isa, right? It's a lie. I didn't do anything. I said, shvua, I'm going to eat a loaf of bread. I didn't do anything. You can't get malchus if I don't do anything. The Gemara said malchus, zakas malchus. That would be the explanation of that machlokas to fit in with my concept over here. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.